He says, "Dear Acharya ji, my name is Karthik, living in US. I came to know you through YouTube videos. I'm very grateful that I'm coming to know about the Rivu Gita on the Mahashivratri day." He says, "I read the full document more than 5 times, and it is difficult to accept that everything is just illusion. I read about sadhana affirming I am self-Brahm. Is this the only sadhana to come to the realization of the self?" Karthik, please appreciate what is meant by saying everything is illusory. When you look at a tree in the night and confuse it to be a man, that's an illusion, right? Does that mean that the tree does not exist? When it is said that the world is an illusion, it means you are so heavily conditioned that you are looking at things as they are not. It does not mean that the world does not exist. I will insist that the world exists. And I'll insist on it because I know that I am speaking to people, persons, that I know I am speaking to bodily ears. I know that I am responding to voices that are emanating from human throats. As long as the material body is there, the material universe too exists. It is quite preposterous to claim as a body that the embodied universe is merely an illusion. You know what then you are saying? Look at the absurdity. Then you are saying that the sofa set does not exist, but me sitting on the sofa exists. If the sofa does not exist, what are you sitting on? Or you will have to say that even you do not exist. But that I will not accept, because if you do not exist, who is talking? Either stop talking, and that you cannot do. Once you stop talking, then let's talk. But you still haven't stopped talking. You're talking a lot. And if you are talking, remember that the talk is happening through the body, and also the talk is proceeding from a lot of your bodily tendencies. The Buddha too talked through the body, but at least his words were free of the tendencies embedded in the body. You are not only talking through the mouth, your words are arising from so many glands and hormones and stuff contained in the body. So the body is a very definite thing for you. And if the body is a definite thing, the sofa too has to be a definite thing. The world is not an illusion. What is then meant by the assertion that the world is an illusion? Why did the seers have to say that the Jagat is mithya? It is because there are not many people who take the sofa as merely a sofa. The sofa is 10,000 things to you. And those 10,000 things keep changing depending on your mood, your conditioning, your upbringing. They don't stay, they deceive. You think of something as one thing, it is not that thing. And then there is sorrow, because no one likes to be betrayed. You look at a man and you are not merely looking at a man. Has it ever happened that you have looked merely at a man? Even to call a man is to begin a lot of obfuscation and unnecessary extrapolation. The whole game of language is to generalize. You cannot use language and be very precise. These days, people are annoyed when stereotypes are used. But if you look at it sharply, you will find it is impossible to use language and still not stereotype. No stereotyping, no words. The very word man refers to a stereotype. The very word tree refers to a stereotype. Where there are concepts, there is stereotyping. Ask yourself, is it possible to conceptualize and yet not generalize? And if you are generalizing, aren't you preparing the ground for deception? Yes, generalization helps in the sense that it makes things convenient for us and practical for us. But practicality is not the same as purity, or is it? Like in the previous question, you two are asking, is the constant affirmation of I am Brahma the only way to be in the truth? Yes, of course. There can be 100 kinds of sadhanas, but all of them are just negations. No sadhana is really affirmative. Even when you are constantly affirming to yourself, I am Brahma, all that you are doing is that you are negating that you are something other than Brahma. Brahma is that nothing that dissolves everything. Brahma is that deal where for the sake of nothing you give up everything. The scriptures are constantly encouraging you to take that deal. So whether you say I am Brahma, or you say the world is an illusion, or you say I am nobody, or you say I am Sachidanand, you are essentially saying the same thing, no difference. Our world is full of knowledge that harms us. And when I say our world, I do not mean the earth. I mean our personal world, our mind. The aim of spirituality is to rid mind of false knowledge. This is the only true knowledge. That all knowledge is false in the sense that it is maybe practical, but it does not endure. It does not bring you to the last point. You must understand the thing with knowledge. Knowledge is surely needed. Why is knowledge needed? Knowledge is needed because you are already knowledgeable. Had you been like the naked Adam and Eve with no knowledge at all, then God would have wanted you to never have knowledge in the first place. That was the instruction, right? Don't eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Just don't begin the cycle. But we are past that stage. We are in the cycle now. You have a lot of knowledge. It is not merely knowledge that you acquire after birth. You are born with knowledge. The infant, 1 day old, is full of knowledge. If you want to measure in bits and bytes how much knowledge an infant has, you will be surprised at the kind of memory space his knowledge would consume. Hence, you require more knowledge. You require more knowledge in order to get rid of the limitations and falsities of the existing knowledge. So, knowledge brings you till a point of relative betterment and then leaves you stranded. Betterment is surely there with the help of knowledge, but that betterment is just relative to your previous state. You can say that you are less thirsty now, but you are still thirsty. And even the consolation that you are less thirsty exists only when you compare yourself to your previous state. On an absolute state, you are just thirsty, not less thirsty. This is something delicate, you will have to understand. Knowledge can make you less thirsty, and you can get that consolation only when you compare yourself to your previous state. But if someone comes and asks you, are you free of thirst now? You won't be able to say yes. And in that sense, your suffering is unending. Not only unending, it is unmitigated also. Even though it appears that with every step in knowledge, with every progress that mankind is making, mankind's suffering is reducing. But that is not really happening. Is the man of today any less in sorrow than the man 3000 years back? I am talking of sorrow, not physical hardships, not material accumulations, none of them. Sorrow is unmitigated. Man is still cunning, jealous, insecure, very, very afraid. And that is why knowledge doesn't help beyond its own plane. The aim of the scriptures is to give you knowledge that will bring you out of the cycle of knowledge. And why must the scriptures give you more knowledge when you are already loaded with knowledge? Because your constitution is such that you can have nothing except knowledge. You are not somebody who can receive awareness, if awareness is something to be received at all. Your constitution is such that you will receive only knowledge, though a true teacher can give you something disguised behind knowledge. When the true teacher speaks, then you keep thinking that you are receiving merely words. But something else has also been silently and surreptitiously been communicated to you without your consent, without your consciousness. Anand's query is Manolaya limited only to old patterns, Or is it about planting new ideas from the scriptures? Obviously, Manolay does not refer to having more of mind. You know the word lay? What does lay mean? What does the word lay mean? Dissolve. Obviously, when something dissolves, that does not mean that it will leave residue behind or beyond the dissolution. Okay, so Manolay means that all that was there in a granular form, in a stubborn form, in a condensed and very apparent form, has now just vanished into thin air. It has dissolved. For the sake of language, and to ensure that we don't get unnecessarily bemused, we say that the mind has dissolved into the truth. We say that the mind has dissolved into the source. But the fact really is that the mind just dissolves. If it just dissolves, to where does it go? It goes to the same place it came from. Figure out where the mind came from. If you can figure that out, you will know where the mind goes to. Came from nowhere, goes to nowhere. If you want to call that nowhereness as the truth, you are not wrong. Right?